Hi, team, how we going? It is Kaz from In the Trenches with Kaz. And we've got an awesome, thought-provoking conversation we're starting today. Now, today has been insane. Computer problems, painting miniatures, wondering why no one watched a video I spent 12 hours making yesterday. These things conflict me every day. And my job as a guy over 50 is to not tell you what to think, how to think, but to present you with conversations that allow you to be a better version of yourself, a deeper thinking version of yourself, and actually be part of conversations and participate in a level deeper than the footy, or vote yes. It's basically just to be able to be yourself and communicate in an articulate way. And I've had some conversations that have been really alarming in the last few days at the strength of opinion that people have, only to find out how ignorant of the complete facts they are. And have I been guilty of that before? Absolutely. Almost daily. But not tonight, because tonight we're going to ask you a question. Would you fight and or die to protect Australian soil if asked tomorrow, like the Anzacs did before you for over 100 years, over 103,000 have fallen, to make the grass greener in other countries? Didn't work so much in Turkey, but we now see them as our bosom buddies and those that died, but that weren't our enemies following World War II. So the answer is going to be very simple, yes or no, and we're going to ask those questions. I've got them all here. I've got a video if you need more, because it's important to know not just who you are, but who you hang around. I spoke to one guy who's serving at the moment, and the amount of disrespect and contempt that he takes from his missus, I don't know why he's still there. And then when he quizzed his own buddies about it that work with him, they were totally against ever fighting for this country. And he's a tradie. You're going, what the hell? So I've got a series of questions, 8 of them I'm going to be asking you. And hopefully while this is occurring, we can get to the bottom of this and have a bit of terra firma and understand that people you'll never imagine watch this channel. And your answers may actually be the litmus paper, the canary in the cave, that is absolutely either scary for you or illuminatingly refreshing. Let's get to the comments for a sec. Simon Powell had a fall yesterday. He bounced back, and hopefully he's okay. Daz, is the rest of your name in reference to gun by chance? I'm not sure. SML. Okay, got you. Terence. Okay, Kaz, you're doing well. I am. Sahara Sand, it's been too long. I hope to have a talk with you the next couple of days like Cobra Kai and so many others. We've got Dave D there. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings. Camo, good to have you here. Jennifer G from Northern Queensland, well done. Hopefully we get to see Kane here tonight. We've got Peppers here. We've got Brady Cars, always great to see his face, even through text. Nicole K, North Korea. We've got the Peppers on Daz, and here we go. So we're going to start spitting these out. Yes, please, would be great to chat again soon. I need to hear some estrogen on my phone rather than just the males. So we're going to start to look at that. While this is going on, guys, I thoroughly recommend you watch the video we did to not just support one of our dying members who's given me permission to exclusively talk about this. Now, he wore the Skippy badge, for well over 2 decades, and he's not going to make it through. And he's in Western Australia getting support from his family right now, and that's Steve Bryce. He might even be in here tonight. The best thing I could ask you to do is watch the video I put out yesterday on the Roman project. Go to his comment and give him some well wishes there. And while we're on that, you might like this, because this is something we're going to do from now on too. For Simon P, not Simon P, sorry, buddy. Okay, for Mr. P, and for those that are suffering around us, let's light a candle without burning the goddamn house down, because I didn't light the fire. Who sang that song? It's always burning since the world was turning, one of our favourite singers. Give me fire! Okay, Brody Boss over from Youngbloods. Got to make the house smell a little bit like a lady, don't we? Get away from the toxin. And while we're sitting here and you guys are wondering, what should I be writing? What am I thinking? Would I enlist? Would I fight? It's not do you want to, it's would you. So we're going to ask some questions now. And hopefully while we're on here, one person's tempted to join the Patreon so that we can have our first member of the Black Legion, which is not a racist slur. I'm painting over 200 Roman soldiers at the moment to represent all of those that support our dreams to help others, whether it be in India, whether it be in Australia, whether it be in the Bronx, Western Sydney. Okay. Also, the ability to speak one-on-one on the phone. There's a lot of people trying to slide in these days, trying to talk to me in here, all different means to try and save himself the price of a coffee a month. And that's not how we fucking play cricket. Support the channel. It supports people. My time is worth money to others, so come on. What do we got? What have we got else here? I just saw someone pop up. Sarah Sands, Cat, Simon, Power Dave, Peppers, Simon, Bravo Charlie. Bravo Charlie. Yep, the lesbian ghoul is here. Okay, we'll throw this one in for a sec. Everything you get, including representation for colour. So we've got over there Mr. P, who passed away. That's our little shrine of honour there. And we're getting very, very close to Remembrance Day, which is my daughter's birthday. Really, it's the 12th, but it was like a couple of hours after because the nurses were lazy and weren't doing their job and we're trying to get off night shift. But let's get to it. First question. Okay, we're going to, what's this one? Okay, let's get rid of that. Bam. Would Australians step up like every other conflict they have done before? For those that don't know, there's been 5 times in Australian past where there was the option for conscription, national service, etc. But there's never been an Australian go overseas that didn't want to go overseas. Even the Nashos wanted to go overseas and they volunteered from that group for Vietnam. So they never actually had to scrape the rust off the barrel to Jimmy, a sailor, so to speak, off a cowboy to get him overseas. The sweet nectar of Coca-Cola. Nothing brushes a soldier's teeth better. I just wish it was a bit cooler. I thought there would have been a few more people for tonight's topic because it's going to be an interesting one. Right. So, Brady Carlos, consider the track record of how the hierarchy and politicians have behaved and treated those who have served in the state of the ADF currently. Okay. But, Brady, we're not talking about going overseas because I don't believe, like Camo said, no, I'd love to know why. But, I'm sure that he's got a great and articulate answer. I'm not talking about fighting abroad. I'm talking about if trouble was coming to our lands, if it was domestic. If it was just you're going to fight, and if you're not, are you going to be making sandwich with the women while chewing leather, to make the straps that soldiers can put around their shoulders metaphorically? I don't know. Cam, let us know what's going on. Why not? And what should happen to you if you don't? Should you be allowed to vote? Do you care if you can't vote? Should you be now unentitled to anything to do with a pension? Unentitled to do anything that is about living as basically in a cave? You're a smart man. We've spoken before. So I know that there's going to be an answer. Daz, I would, and a lot of country boys out there would too. A lot of city boys would too. If you have a look at that thumbnail I put out there today, I put up tonight while you're pressing like, you'd be very surprised to who says yes and who says no, because the size of the man doesn't determine the size of the courage that's within his heart. And some of the soldiers that I've absolutely seen step up in moments of danger, of turmoil, you'd be amazed. We've got a video up here in a minute which spurned this whole subject on tonight. It's very, very interesting, but also categorically scary, considering that it is connected to our actual closest and most effective, so you think, coalition ally that also resides in Australia. Okay, so the answer was yes. It's not necessarily a conversation at the moment on whether you would or not, and I'm not here to judge you. This is something you've got to ask yourself. Unfortunately, Kaz says, our younger population is too reliant on other people to solve problems. They don't understand the role they have in ensuring we continue to enjoy the life and privileges we have until all of a sudden that situation occurs and we've got to step up. There's been no shot over the bow. There is no group message where people are starting to think other than there's something going on, that Australia better start preparing like the rest of the world, because the rest of the world is taking sides. We've got the BRICS agreement. Now we've got all of the Five Eyes are even arguing amongst themselves on our side. Kaz called me fat again. Oh, no, I didn't. I said you had good marbling. You Raffy? Yes, absolutely would, says Elite Sniper, and I expected to with a name like that, I guess. Smokey B says, I hate to admit this, but I would think twice about going to war for my country, New Zealand. I have a lot of respect for my country and the West in general, so corrupt. I totally agree, but I bet you would fight actually for the homeland if it was endangered, because that's not about politicians. I'd just say the politician, you'd better have your son or daughter with a weapon in their hand beside me. That's what I'd say. And I don't believe you should be able to be a politician unless you have children. That should be the minimum criteria. So what you do with your old money, okay, with your new money, with your corrupt money, is that your kid is in the mix as well. And that goes for Zelensky. That goes for Biden. That goes for, and yeah, he's had a kid serve, I guess. So there you go. I'm ready, just waiting, says Sahara. She's in the push-up position right now. Kaz, don't listen to him, Simon. He's just jealous of your manliness. Maybe. Dave D, not everyone must fight. We need people serving in other ways. Yes. One of the next questions is coming down. It'll make a lot more sense. The left indoctrination happening in our schools has worked. Absolutely, it has. Yeah. Gordo, some military training, some good. Sounds good, Miss Nicole. Let's go to the next question. Keep it heated. Well, how many would we need to defend our land? It'd be impossible to almost take Australia unless you did it economically, and that's happening right goddamn now, isn't it? We've got people coming in and they just buy the land out from under us because culturally Australians are very selfish. We look after ourselves, one house, sometimes 4 bedrooms for 2 people, while other people come from other countries and move 12 people into one house. And in the same year, you've got enough money to put a deposit on a $1.5 million house in the first year by having 10 people work within that house, grouping it together culturally and getting ahead, getting the American Aussie dream. Independence landowner. There you go. Okay, Camo. The moral character of people has changed since World War II. Not most. People nowadays cannot think about the future or projects for the next generation. They care less about extended family, let alone country. I absolutely believe that you're right there, Camo. And that was exactly what I was talking about with the lack of spirituality, the lack of family foundation, the lack of setting people up for the future, our government not doing anything to give us something to be proud of. That's a great comment. How many do we need for our lands? James. Of course I would. Waiting for his office selection board. Good on you, James. Let's have another talk soon, mate. James Mowing. Gold Logie. I'd never get one of them. I'd say a minimum of 500,000 gold Logie. I reckon you'd be looking at 3 million, mate. I reckon you'd be looking at 3 million at least. We had over 400,000 in World War I up as volunteers. But they are different people. But they'd say now, the kids in their iPads, but back in their face was in their papers. So it wasn't that much different. Okay, Smokey B, I'd fight for my family if we were invaded because they come first in my life, but I'd certainly not be signing up to fight some pointless war overseas. I don't mean overseas. I mean Australia. Yeah, and that's a good point. You've got people that haven't even got family that talk to them. Why would they die for a country and even speak for the people that live in their house? If you haven't got peace at home, what can you say? Terence, hey, Kaz, do you think it's worth trying to repair relations with China? I don't think we're in as bad a position as what people think. China's in a lot worse position than us internally, mate. Do some research on that one. I feel sorry for Japan too. They're hitting the wall. Do you have Christ in you, Kaz? I do. I'm a religious son of a mate. I'll never learn a prayer. When I talk to God, it's a conversation with my spiritual being. And I believe that every God except for Buddha, who was an actual man, is probably the same person that we've just misinterpreted. So that's why I can't stand seeing religious fight. I want to see people's actions, not their words. I like to live by actions. I like to help people when no one's watching. without a camera in my hand. Watch their face and feel the warmth within. You know, if I public speak somewhere, I never accept money. I turn up. It costs me money to go and help people. You call, that's what she said. Ash, police are watching them now, but it was full on. Yep, for those that don't know, when you're going to have new subscriber, Isaac Dart. Awesome, mate. If you need more in your life, mate, jump onto Patreon. The link will be there. You can have a one-on-one conversation. You can talk about finance. You can talk about military. You can talk about spirituality if you want. Whatever you want. If you need a bit more in your life, if you feel like you need more, then follow that link. I'm sure someone will put it there, or it's down below in the comments. You'll be good. Ash, police are watching them. Those that are doing protests, believe me, you know, you don't interrupt someone when they're being an idiot. You let them keep talking, photo scan, recognition, put them on a list, okay, and then go and visit them at the time of your calling. Any new subscribers, make sure you let us know you're a new subscriber. It's good to have Isaac here. Somebody's crying. We've got a couple of Isaacs now. Gold Logan, damn, 3 million, holy crap, we might need conscription, which is going to be one of our few questions coming up. But before we get to that, bam, how about national service? We talk about this all the so you don't believe in Jesus. Yes, I do. I just said that I've got God in my heart and Jesus. You don't get it mixed. Okay, so what we're talking about, national service. We need national service, not because there's a threat with the world. We've got a goddamn fucking threat inside Australia. We've got the fattest population we've ever had. We've got the most naive population we've had, the most ignorant and selfish we've ever had, and it's not because of their parents. It's because of the conditioning that happened since 2007 when the iPhone got picked up, and then that swiftly moved towards left-leaning destruction of the generation through the schooling system, which needs to be cut back to at least be 50% men. It needs to become an area where we curb this epidemic of uselessness and have male figures at every level of schooling. It should be compulsory that you have a male teacher representing you at least every second year in schooling. And then we need to make our teachers not come from people that have never left school. It should be people that have gone out, got a job, not done 4 years to get there, but then come back, spin it, and make them a teacher that suits their qualifications, their level of mentorship, and their ability to identify art and future in children, you know, to bring out the best of them as a motivator, almost like little public speakers. And I'm not saying they've got an easy job. It'd be hard as shit. Because you're also battling with some of the parents that seem to not give a shit about their kids. So national service, it'd help us lose weight. It'd help us mentally. The self-diagnosis of mental health. Okay, it'd give people friends. It'd give them achievement. It would fail them in things so that they become resilient, but also not take it as an insult and understand when you get yelled at, it's not because someone's angry. It's because they want you to move goddamn now. And I still believe in Jesus, Isaac. National service would give people the tools to live in a modern society and curb the rot that's happening, to know there's something bigger and better than yourself. And that's goddamn important. Okay? The people that are younger shouldn't be allowed to sit closest to the fire. That's for the old people with the sore bones that have survived the journey and the ordeal. Kaz, no idea, but I think the lack of industrial base manufacturing within AUKUS, yep, is concerning. If we go against BRICS, yes. I don't think it's happening, hopefully. I think the BRICS is going to fall on its ass. And I think everything that's happening right now around the Gulf with the three carrier groups around Iran is looking very, very close to an anti-BRICS campaign rather than a supporting Israel campaign. Oh, I thought you were saying all religions are one. No, Isaac. What I'm saying is I believe that we've got it twisted. Remember that Islam, you know, is the cousins of the Israelites. And it was a split off more than 600 years later when Islam came, where people started going off into different doctrines and listening and following their heart with what they were getting told. So I don't believe we get too much right, mate. I believe there's something bigger than us. I believe there's something spiritual out there, and I think there's something later, you know, but I don't think that we've worked it out properly. Yes, I think we need national service to build character, because if we don't have national service, are we going to let the rot continue until the NDIS system drives our country bankrupt? what happens to all of these people you see wandering the streets like zombies that are actually allowed to hurt your children because of diminished responsibility? You shouldn't have to perform a crime before you get locked up when you don't know the difference between right or wrong. That's the case. Okay. I've been saying in national service for years. Yes, it's not to hurt people, it's to save people. Next question, scarier. What if national service is not enough? Dalton, I really want to join the infantry. Don't see myself doing anything else. One problem, I'm not fit enough at the moment. Well, you know what to do there. I run 4:06 for a kilometre. That's not too bad, mate, at all. But I can't keep it going. Okay, any tips for building up that endurance? Dalton, what you need to do is, bam, get on this, the bat phone. The link is right there, and we will support you one-on-one to tailor for your needs to find out what's going wrong. The best thing you can do is what one of our other females is doing that took the advice is go to the local gym and put yourself down for a boot camp, invest in yourself, let someone else push the pace, grab yourself some shoes from Foot Locker, not Rebel. Okay, so it's measured to your feet, the body armor of your bloody archers. Okay? And from there, you and I will get you through. Not only will you be fitter, the answers will come, but your life will be better. Get on there now. If you're in jail, break out. If you've got a beard, shave half of it off. Camo, we need national service, not teenage vaping. Excellent. We need teenagers with mates. Excellent. Not alone depressed. Yes. Teenagers with skills, not drugs, experience. We need teens to become men, not to stay boys. Camo, we've got to have another conversation, mate, because I'd love to have you on here and have a conversation. And by the way, team, in case you don't know, this video tonight, press like if you dare, is also, I believe, so important. I'm going to be going out when my feet are a little bit better, my legs can hold me up as a lesbian ghoul, and I'm going to be doing some street interviews for this one. I'm going to be asking males, I'm going to ask females, I'm going to be asking tough guys, I'm going to ask old people and see what their answer is. Peter Mayfield, Pacadari, Australia's national service now more than ever. Kane, how you going, buddy? I didn't get the cane when I was younger, but I did get the hand a few times from Mr. McKenny. Terence, we need to get to the sport. Playing that'll only happen if you have male teachers, mate. Female teachers hate sport, even though it's the best way to make kids get rid of that energy and then get back in the classroom and learn. It also works out the pecking order where you are. Okay. Jennifer, I have friends who are Greek. They're all done 2 years compulsory. Yep. Jennifer, exactly. And every country that has national service, it actually holds the fabric of their society together, because what it does, it gives qualifications that off-ramp into other qualifications as well. It's a win-win. It's a self-licking ice block, and it's only the selfishness of Australians that would say no to it, that want to go to Bali instead before they've even earned a fucking dollar outside a bloody coffee shop, to go and do that, discover what they could be. You need to get rid of your school friends, replace them with adults. And maybe not an adult until you've done it. You think they get locked up when they commit crimes? You think they get, oh, yeah. No, because diminished responsibility, of course they don't. I live in the Bronx, mate, and I see them every day passing by the school. No one does shit. Nicole, Jennifer D, did you know the Swedish need to do 20 years reserve service and females are the only ones who can choose to enlist in the permanent forces? I didn't know that. Yeah. Hadley, that's a good name. Hey, all, is there any combat roles based in Western Australia other than SAS? No, not there is, but they're reservists, mate. I'm hesitant to choose my 3 job preferences. Hadley, again, you need to get onto the bat phone tonight so that tomorrow you and I can have a conversation after I've got out of the dentist. That's going to be a job for him. And we can actually create a package for you that makes you think, God damn, I'm lucky I came here 8 weeks before 2024, the year of Hadley. Undiscovered. Yes, you are. I see you. Kaz looks good for his age. I am 52. I've just lost 17 kilos. I've been in hospital for freaking 24 days on 3 different occasions. I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you very much. Hey, Kaz, I got my psych interview coming up later this month. I'll hit you up sometime later this week on the bat phone for some guidelines. Cheers. And I'll look forward to that while I'm painting your balls on the models that are behind me. But Gold Load, you didn't get drawn for that one. So you might be on next week. Jennifer G. Nicole, I didn't know. Interesting. Kane. Hey, Kaz, I bet I could do more push-ups than Mr. Buckaroony. I don't think so, man. Bucko's got some fire in him. That'd be a great bet. Foxy, how's the Camels going, mate? Hey, team, can't stay on tonight. We'll watch back later. Look for a spicy topic. Foxy, you already represent us, and it's fantastic. I take a hat off to you. And for those that don't know, female, as you'd expect, she's already walking the walk, talking the talk. Next one's a big question. Mr. C, is that me? G'day, Kaz. Good to see you back up and about. I am sort of, but I'm at the moment the arch of my foot. It feels like it's been hit with bats for hours. It's killing me. I overdid it a little bit today. Walked up and down the stairs. I wasn't ready for it. For those that don't know, I've got a deep vein thrombosis in my leg. I'm not trying to do a bit of Munchausen there. It's legit. I thought Kaz was 25. Mate, I act like I'm bloody 13. Self-diagnosed freaking ADHD, I reckon, and it is a disorder because I've made everyone around me less successful in their, what would you call it, in their careers because they sat beside Kaz for the entertainment and didn't realise you need to pass your subjects as well. And that goes for the army too. Isaac, hey Kaz, does reserves just mean if they get invaded we have to fight? Because I'd be keen to do that. Reserves have to step. They've got a fantastic role, mate. But it doesn't get taken seriously by the government. It needs to be tested. It needs to be tested soon. They help in national disasters, okay? In local areas where there's no, like they were discussing before, is there regular combat forces other than SAS in Western Australia? Well, there is plenty of army reservists. In every area, they can be used, even in conjunction with SES, but they can be used for missing children. They can be used for anything. And because they're getting paid by the government, you don't need to ask permission. Ready to go. Cano says, just as you have a duty to protect your family, you have a duty to protect your country. I could see conscription being a good idea for troubled rural teens to get them out of jail system for life. Well, that's a choice, Camo, that I agree with, and New Zealand had one. For troubled youth, it was you're going to the clink or you're going to come over here and learn some discipline. Sometimes it wasn't enough. Dalton says, to add on to the question, Kaz, was 17 in January. Would you recommend using next year to get? Yes, I would. Go when you're 18, try to get fit now and join next year. Dalton, but the strongest thing I recommend is you get onto the Patreon so I can guide you before you actually need to be ready to go right now. So you and I together have the conversations to take you from feeling like a 17-year-old and you're going to feel like a 19-year-old and you're going to have an unfair advantage for the price of a coffee a month, which I will pledge to give to other people to help them. Kane, Mr. Buckaroony, hey, throw a push-up challenge your way. That's easy to say when he's not on here. You're throwing out hollow threats there to Buckaroony, Kane. He'll take you up on it. You take it, pump the brake for a second, but I look forward to you helping you, Peppers. But you've got time, Dalton, but you've got time on your side. Okay, for a military career, but also learn about dividend investing. Also about fitness, also about history, also about philosophy, about so many things. Now, there's a name. Me. I'm voluntary going into the armed forces, conscription or not. I'm doing it for Australia. That should be the main reason for Australia. Yep, and me, that's the reason I joined. I didn't join to hurt people. I didn't join to see bad things. I joined for friendship, mateship, for a sense of identity. Okay, for fun, for pay. It was a calling. I didn't know I was going to end up being all over the world for the rest of my life. But it happened. Jennifer does 160 push-ups in sets of one. 666, Evil Smith, in the process of applying as a mechanic in the army. Any insight of the army mechanic? I've got more insight, mate, than a gynecologist because my dad was in the was a mechanic for 28 years in Ramey, mate. You know, you normally have to become the mechanic. You normally have to pass 4 subjects to get that apprenticeship: maths, English, and 2 other subjects. But the qualifications are fantastic. Otherwise, you could also go for a trade through engineers. So consider that 6'6", and again, Phone's here. If you need that one-on-one guidance, remembering the army is there for their needs, I am there for your needs. I can't drag you to water. All I can do is offer you one-on-one counselling from what I believe was the best instructor in the Australian Army. Happy sugar. If I'm Canadian, do I get hanged if I say no? I don't know. That'd be interesting. Scotty Palmer at the gym, but caught the stream. Let's go, says Jacob. And thank you very much for your support lately. Jacob, stream plan for the 11th. Well, that's a tough one because that's also the day of my daughter's birthday and lead up. But I reckon we could do that. I reckon we could squeeze that in. So the question is, and thank you for that respect, though, because they shall grow not old as we that are left grow old, and age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. And at the going down of the sun or the candle, we will remember them, lest we forget. And let's just not let it be words. What should happen to those who refuse? Now, if you refuse to go and fight and put on a uniform when you're given, and we'll get to this question in a minute, so don't jump on me too early. Press the like if you can, and any comments that you have later will be fantastic. Make sure you share this to those that are against national service, against our own country. There seems to be enough people that freaking hate it. They don't go to pubs, so you can give them a little bit of what's for with the grey nickels. But if you refuse to actually defend Australia, that's different to not going overseas. To me, it's almost traitor. If you won't defend your house and you won't defend the cave when the enemy's there, and they give you alternative things where it might be, and we'll push a little bit into the next question. It's not just being infantry, although that is the majority of what would happen to people when they sign up. Here's a rifle. There's a commander. Go with him, train. Don't point at each other. But there's other things like Israel. You can go there and it might be a medical thing. There might be something that doesn't allow you to go and do this, that, or the other, and you help the war effort in another way. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a war. It could be a war on terror. This could be domestic. We have got enemies within this country you would not believe with goat eyes that absolutely wish you harm. And the police will not get there in time, and they need support later if it decides because of our coalition buddies that it puts us in harm's way, and now we become an unnecessary target. All right? So what should happen to you? Should it be jail? Should it be a lack of financial or medical free support, education? Should it be you're unemployable in this, that, or the other? I'm not here to be the executioner team. I'd love to at least hear the person's reason, but if it's not good enough, do they deserve protection? Should they be put on a catapult and flung outside the village and go, okay, you said you don't need anyone. You said you're not going to help anyone. No worries, mate. Go over there and eat some raw chicken, you dickhead. Maybe they've got a bloody good reason. Who knows? What if they said to you straight up, I'm the guy with the hump from 300. I'm about to betray you. And I don't want to feel worse by being your friend before it. Okay, what else we got? We'll watch a bit of a video in a minute so you understand where I'm coming from. So hang on. Okay, so do you hold the rank of Tesserarius? What the hell is that? You talk about the Triarii? Okay, the senior soldier of the Republican legions. Good idea, Simon. What Simon said. Refusal, no access to Centrelink Social Security. That'd be a start. No housing assistance. Which Patreon should I buy, cash, or does it not matter? Dalton, they're all the same, mate. But can you wait till tomorrow so that I can open up a new tier, which will be called the Black Legion? If you're going to join Patreon, do it tomorrow. Join the Black Legion, and you'll be getting a model, okay, painted similar to. Wait a second. One of these to represent you on a battlefield, which every single person will get done for them as part of Patreon. So if you were to pass away like Mr. P over here, God rest his soul, or like Suffering Steve in Western Australia, you'll always be with your buddies in colour. Peppers, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your donation. What would we call that light blue? What would we call that one? Untan Smurf. Thank you very much, sir. I'm going to buy some raw chicken with that tomorrow. I deserve it. Camo, get branded coward on forehead. Okay. They used to get white feathers. Women used to put white feathers in their letterboxes in World War One, and that was the sign of a coward. But sadly, some of those young men couldn't join medically and killed themselves. Absolutely horrific, heartbreaking, snuffing out 2,000 years of evolution of family like that because someone didn't understand the context of why someone wasn't serving. Heartbreaking. Elite Sniper. Hey, Kaz, so I've been SES for about 9 months now and absolutely love it. Yes. Being 16 in 2 months. Would being an SES volunteer help me pass the interview in an assessment session? I would say it would, because they've already accepted you in SES. You're showing that you've got life experience and you've got commitment to something greater than yourself. Attitudinally, as long as you're physically good to go and you pass the other things, I'd take you based on the fact that you're probably just a bloody good Aussie. Guardian. Tesarius was a watch commander in the Roman army. I didn't know that. They organised had commander over a nightly guard assigned to keep watch over the fort when the garrison were on campaign from Google. I love that, Guardian. And that would go to someone that had previously been wounded, I'd imagine, or someone that was unable to go out for the marches, etc., but still had the gift of age, wisdom, stoicism to get the job done. That's an excellent way. We shouldn't just throw people in a wood pile, just because their job is done. Well done. I love learning at the same time. No, mate, the guard commander of the cohort. Okay. We now have half a country of immigrants who would fight for their own country. So good luck getting them to fight for us. There is true, but we've got a lot of people, that are joining up to show that their support for the country. And in a lot of countries, it's also considered a very big deal, especially like Nepal. They'll sign up for 20 years. I had a Nepalese actual nurse while I was in hospital, and he said there's corruption, to get into their army. It's that sought after to get into the Nepalese army, the amount of respect that you get for it. So there you go. 666, already qualified. I'm 29, wanted to wait and make sure the army is something I wanted to 100% commit to. 666, you do, mate. You do. I still get tears in my eyes considering that I'm not in the military anymore. I could not love it more than what I do, which is the reason why I do videos like this for you. To start conversations, not to tell you how to think, but to have a conversation. And when you go to the military, everyone is having these serious conversations that normally people don't have until 11 o'clock at night on the piss at a barbecue, that they turned up with thin sausages and a 6-pack of cheap beers while eating like a goddamn pig. We need you on that wall. Do it. Elite Sniper. Appreciate the help, Kaz. Not too cow. I'll be your number 2 there, Sniper. Onward Brady, Guardian says, Onward Brady. A bunch of my mates are from the Philippines and other countries, but love this place like nothing else. And I'm an immigrant myself. It's absolutely true. And look, from the USA, Ed Bennett Jr. Good morning, Kaz. He's a serving US serviceman right now. Good morning, Kaz from America. Going to air assault school phase. 6 Mile Ruck. That's a march. Glad to see you doing better. Cheers. Ed Jr., I'm in your corner. What's his name? Uncle Joe just got drawn out as being one of the models that's going to get painted. We're going to be painting your dad soon. Okay, we're going to be painting James Meredith Hupp, and Jody and Maddie. It's going to be great. Thank you to you and your buddies in the USA, mate. You are our coalition buddies. You know what? And you're not politically affiliated, which means you go where you're told to go. And for that, I take my hat off to you and hope the people that are playing with my life, our lives, Okay, respect what you do in the back play where you don't get the chance to have that freedom of speech because you wear a uniform, and hats off to you, mate. There you go, the lesbian ghoul. Good on you, mate. Keep that mateship there, and I hope to see you. Nicole, can we get some thumbs up there for Ed Bennett the third and his family? Good everyone, Steve W. A bit late to the party, but morning, Kaz. G'day, Steve. How you going? Look at all those blue spanners there. Great to see you. Daz. Oh, Foxhound, it's Ringy. Yeah, there you go, mate. It's been a while, but Guardian. Can't wait to see the paintings. Ed B, it's going to be great. I'll be painting your ball soon enough, mate. Guardian's thrown out a turmeric donation there. The donations keep our channel going, and they let it with others. And soon, I'm hoping to buy some Coca-Cola shares. You know, also just so I can have a few of them to represent, you know, my daughter's future, and maybe, you know, out of each month we'll take a snap just to buy a couple of those. So each month we see them go up. And our shares in Coca-Cola, one day we can bring them back to Australia. In case you didn't know, Coca-Cola got kicked out of the Australian Stock Exchange, and I don't know why. And now they're getting beaten by Pepsi. Hey, Kaz, my brother is a volunteer firefighter. Got to love those guys. And is leaving tomorrow to head up to Queensland to fight the fires there. I'm thinking of volunteering as well. Be careful, mate. The fire is racist towards every colour. You know, just be careful, mate. Do what you have to do. Stay out of harm's way. And remember to watch your mates back, because it will not take prisoners, my friend. Let us know. Give us a message. So we're going to have a conversation, mate. And I look forward to speaking to you, Guardian. Dave D. Go, Rob Cant. You're doing well. We had a great conversation, Rob. And we're going to have another one in the next couple of days because he's one of my favourite people to speak to. I won't tell you the conversation Rob and I have, because I haven't asked him permission to divulge his situation. Jacob, what should we say to people around us who cannot understand what patriotism is? A lot of people around me who just don't seem to get it, believe it's no longer necessary, nearly. Well, Jacob, what I would say, if you can't be patriot to your family, are you patriotic to your family? Are you patriotic to your missus, to your dog, to your house? Why do you have a fence? Does a patriotic person, this is always an oxymoron, the same people who aren't patriotic for Australia are patriotic for their footy team. They don't understand it's exactly the same goddamn thing. Become a groupie for your country. Hold the politicians responsible. Ask them, when you're going to do something that shows a bit of leadership or a little bit of promise, like building the Endeavour so that kids can buy a nail and put it in there and be part of the project. You know, how long ago was it that we built something like the Opera House? We could build something like that every 4 years. So every cycle of kids going through primary school are as happy as a guy's foot that missed dog shit to see something coming before their eyes and being just grateful that the architects are given something that's worthy of our worship. I hope that's an answer, Jacob. Go, what do you care about? Are they non-spiritual? Have they got a family that sucks? Do they suck? I couldn't be friends with someone that stands for nothing. Sometimes, Jacob, we've got to replace the people that we're around. And that's what you can do here. I have got soldiers that I don't get to speak to anymore because I'm so busy talking to great people on here that people have evolved from being someone on Patreon that asked me a question for help once, and then through that time have become actual real friends. James Stephen, hey, Kaz, love your work, mate. James Stephen, that's two first names, always confusing for a sergeant. What's your surname? Stephen. No, your surname. James. I'm boggled. Good on you, mate. I couldn't do it without you. So there we go, Scotty. Mate, Scotty, did you see the mess? Did you see the video that I put out yesterday? All of you should be going and watching it. You got drawn out, mate. I'll be painting your balls real soon. Real soon. Hope Quinny's doing well, mate, and I hope you're feeling well too. We've got about 5 to 10 minutes to go, team. We are tribalistic by nature. Yep. If people aren't patriotic, it's because they don't feel like they're ever going to be in danger. But I can tell you something else. If you've ever spent a month in hospital and you don't know whether you're going to get out, and if you do, whether you'll ever actually be walking, breathing properly again, you realize the importance of the herd, how important people are, and how much you can't do by yourself. So maybe he needs a bit of grief in his life so that he actually brings people in and realizes, maybe I do need some people, you know. Daz, if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. Absolutely, and we see it. Well, enough of this, Gump. Okay, what would be classified as support to the war effort? We spoke about that. Alternatively, other than that, would it be what they used to do, making ammo? Would it be making sandwiches? Okay, would you be, doing some sort of SES role instead? A logistical role. Would you be then put into a police uniform? Would you become something else? Who would be exempt from that military service? You won't be just there with a 303 equivalent with a bayonet. Okay, we need a whole bunch of people to keep the machine moving. Just like a Bathurst car, there's 2 drivers, but about 20 people around it. Be the pit crew. Scotty, yeah, I saw my balls. They're blue all the time. Okay, there we go. This is a big one. In the time of feminism where they reckon they don't need anyone, what would happen if we suddenly asked women, by the way, you want quota into everything that pays high but nothing that works hard? Well, now's your time. Do we want our daughters to have to step up? Midnight Oil sang a song, Forgotten Years. So our daughters need not carry guns. I don't want our daughters to carry guns. I don't give a fuck if they're upset that I'd rip that opportunity off them. But I need the best team fighting beside me. And not just that, I don't want to be patching up females wearing Ozcams. It doesn't have to be fair. It's in a man's heart. We need the A team to be the best A team. They can make the sandwiches. They can get back to the kitchen. I'm sure they won't complain. We're seeing fighting happening all around Ukraine. Not seeing women there. They left the country as soon as they could. And they're already on OnlyFans, trying to get partners in Germany and Poland, etc. And there's some beautiful, lovely ladies that are begging and praying every day in Ukraine that their husband comes home to see his children again. Everyone's got a place supporting, or doing. You shouldn't want to be the doer. You do it because your heart tells you that's your role in life. Don't think of it as, stop thinking about it as an enemy out there and think of it as a bear. Think of it as a saber-toothed tiger, metaphorically. You can change the color or the name of the beast, but there is a time when, ladies, go to the car. I'll see you when this is done. I'll either be at the police station or the hospital. Shut up. Go. Get out of the way. It's about to go down. The time for talking is skeeting done. Yeah, it's not about social politics. Women should be at home. I don't think they should be at home, but just get out of my way and don't hold the back of my jumper when I'm trying to throw the haymakers. That's all. But this would be an interesting question if all of a sudden, and I'll be speaking to them in the street interview. Why shouldn't you have to fight? And I want them to come up with the answers. You want to be the head of corporations without doing the same time as a man that did 30 years to get to that position. So now you can take up a rifle. I don't want to do that. I don't care what you want. You told me you can do it. Yeah. Declan, too much for you, young man. Appreciate the phone call, Kaz. Declan, not your cow. That's an orange piece of turmeric right there, Declan. Didn't you say you were 17? You shouldn't be giving donations, man. No. Just get on Patreon, stay there and have the conversation with the other people on Patreon. That's all. Can we get some thanks there for the turmeric cow thrown out by Declan? Very much appreciated, mate. That's enough to buy some more raw chicken tomorrow. Salmonella. It's a way of life. It's probably why I was in hospital. Scotty, I'll give my life to my country. Yes, I would. And that's question. There's an answer right there. In the state that I am right now, if they called, will I go back tomorrow, regardless of the things I've got wrong with me? And the answer would categorically be yes. I would step up and I'd go back now. And if that means I don't get paid a cent other than the pension that I'm on, I would turn up tomorrow in some sort of GIMP uniform saying, okay, I'll go back to being a tactics instructor again tomorrow. That's my calling. And if my calling is to make the grass greener where I lie, then so be it. Okay? I wouldn't ask you to do something I wouldn't do myself. I've done it for 24 years. Okay. If they want me again, I'm happy to step up. And for those that are watching that need a public speaker to come and talk to people about the philosophy of the warrior mindset and why we do the things we do without actually asking for thanks or compensation at times, then I'd be quite happy to come and prepare something for you and maybe give a little bit of motivation that's a little bit better than the army seems to be. In separation seminars, I should be at all of them. You know, I should be at all of them. Let's have a look at a video, shall we, team? Stay with me. Cats, you'd probably be a fitter than some of the people signing up nowadays. They just don't know any better, mate. That's all. Hey, Cass and team, can someone tell me that is the Patreon the same as the description you find through YouTube? Yes, it is, Elise. It is. King. You're going to have to change your name to Queen. But again, Elise, can you wait until I start the Black Legion tomorrow so that if you get on there tomorrow before we have a conversation, you can get allocated a model. Okay, these aren't painted yet. These are just undercoated. Okay, so that I can have the Black Legion with a beautiful shield with gold edging. Rob, does make best of the circumstance. Scott has classified me unfit. Does making best of the circumstances. Government medic fit. Jump through board. We reinstated. Maybe a chance in 24. Let's have a look at that. Okay. Put this on here. I don't know how well it's going to go. It might decide to get it because I don't know. I do not know if this is going to hit some sort of what would you call it? Any sort of what do I call it? You're stealing someone else's product, which is not what I'm trying to do. Camo! Not so cow. I watched kickboxing with mum on the weekend. Loved it. Bloody hell. Awkward watching some parts with mum. Not so cow. White warrior. You know, Mei Lee, great fucky. Okay, here we go. Can we get some thumbs up for Camo there? Man of wisdom, man of words. And tonight he showed great conviction and balance. You know, he spoke good points, but didn't do it in an emotional manner, and we appreciate that. Thank you very much, mate. More raw chicken coming my way. Guys, okay, remember tonight, if this closes down now, please go to the video from yesterday, watch it, understand what we do for others, but also, please, go to the comment section. And I dare you all, I can see there's 40 views on it at the moment, go on there and write a comment to Simon Bryce and let him know we're in the corner. I'm going to quickly show this before I put the video on. This is a video, a message I got from him today. Where are we? I won't read what he's written. Okay. So I basically said to him, I hope he enjoys the distraction of the Roman project. He wrote, it's more than a distraction, mate. Honestly, up until a couple of days ago, he just felt like giving up. But then everything changed. His wife has brought him home. She's looking after him. Now he lives in the same house with his kids. I'm just giving you the summary here. Then seeing and being part of your great idea, because even when I am gone, there'll still be a part of me in your work that says I was here, I mattered, and my life made a difference for the betterment of others. I want to share something with you. Okay. And his lovely wife and his son, Liam, are standing by him. I'm not going to tell you the rest, but let's just say that what we've done by including him, and you'll know it when you see the video from yesterday, it goes for 10 minutes, little actions we do over words with some music thrown in, you can absolutely ignite someone's morale in their hardest times. And I know that over the last 6 weeks. And God, I can't say thank you enough. So let's watch this video. It goes for about 10 minutes. I'll be looking at your comments at the same time and see what we've got. Where are we? Wait. Got to go in here. I'll be down here. There you are. Hiding. Okay. So, team, here we go.
A massive storm has brought destruction. Children and families will
Bring back the draft. A divisive home front battle will loom over any major war. This article just coming out today. Now, I've got some pretty shocking news to share with you on this, and there's been a lot coming out on this. Take a look. It has been trending. People searching, is there going to be a U.S. draft? And at first you might think no. However, wait till you see some of the more recent articles that have been coming out on this. Fact checkers saying that no, the United States is not bringing back the draft. However, what might be surprising to you is the reason why and how this still might be a possibility. Now, take a look at this.
Steve Ram, he's not a military guy. He's a real estate kind of guy, but this subject has touched him so hard that he's weighed in. Let's see what you guys are saying for a sec. Boom. Okay, the conversation. Pretty crap. Simon, your leg. Simon took a spill yesterday too. Let's get back to it.
A draft can only be ordered through an act of Congress, which is not considering doing so because we are currently not in a war at this moment. So in other words, they're saying legally, President Joe Biden cannot issue an executive order to reinstate the draft. However, Congress can do so if they feel that it is needed when we are in a time of war. Take a look at this.
So guys, what you need to know is you think you have a choice. Our government as well, if they decide to, can throw the rule book out and you think you got a choice, you don't have a choice, and the gun will govern, okay, what happens next. But that'll be handed either by MPs or police. And you will do it. If you don't believe me, look what happened in COVID if you didn't do what you're told.
Military recruiting woes worry voters, but most still oppose the draft. As they're saying, if we were to enter into war at this time, we do not have enough people in our U.S. military. And take a look at this. Military draft needed in the U.S. A letter just issued a couple weeks ago. I'm going to be sharing this with you as they're saying, we need it. We do not have enough armed forces. And take a look at the article that just came out today. It says the United States.
This is scary. Look at these numbers. The individual ready reserve, which stood at 700,073, and then 450,000 in 1994, now stands at 76,000. That won't even replace the people that are in there now.
Army is facing a dire combination of recruiting shortfalls and shrinking individual ready reserves. The shrink they cite is alarming. The individual ready reserve, which stood with 700,000 in 1973, 450,000 in 1994, well, today
we've created some artificial intelligence software.
Sorry, Tim.
It is the first of its kind in the whole globe.
It's only 76,000, 1/10 of what we had in our armed forces in 1973, which was.
Just seeing what you guys got to say at the moment. There'll be a reward for a grant for those who volunteer before a draft. Well, the whole point is hopefully there won't be a draft because enough people say, yes, okay, I'm going to be part of this. And I don't believe that someone is going to invade Australia. But what I do believe is there's enough distance within Australia. It could be a domestic situation that could overwhelm our security forces. That's what I reckon. Okay.
Was 50 years ago. These numbers cannot fill the existing gaps in the active forces, let alone any casualty replacement or expansion during a large-scale combat operation. Large-scale combat operations troop requirements may well require a reconceptualization of the 1970s and 1980s volunteer force and a move toward partial conscription, aka reinstating the draft, or a partial conscription would unleash powerful social, political, and cultural shockwaves throughout America. And I'm pretty sure we all would be in shock to hear that they would be sending essentially Gen Z into war if the United States were forced into World War III. After 50.
Tim, I'm just going to quickly say, I've spoken to some of the smartest people, the young people that I've spoken to in a considerably long time. But I've also spoken to some people that were so naive that I thought, how are you even allowed to vote? It was so scary to know that our politicians don't care about you if you're over probably 30 because you're not part of the bracket of the people that are getting currently brainwashed by our education systems, etc., to a point that they can't buy your vote, but they can definitely swing the vote of those that are young at the moment, so that almost everything that goes left is bought by political favour. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a scary one. Drawn by Daniel. Not forgetting in Australia, they had the volunteer second Australian Infantry Force for overseas, while also drafting people into the militia and deploying them in operation in Papua New Guinea. They still volunteered for that, mate. You know. The thought of having someone who absolutely categorically says, I'm not going, they're probably more likely to fight their own than what they are to fight the enemy. Now, there's an oxymoron too.
Years, any conscription, no matter how partial, would be off the charts contentious. Now, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. They are saying, no, there is not a draft at this time, but we are currently not officially in war.
We're seeing gay people that are supporting Hamas. What's happening there? Understanding they'd be thrown off a building if they went there. How's that for confusing?
And if we were, they're saying we do not have enough people to support a war. And then let me ask you this. Do you think that Congress would then issue legislation saying it's time for a draft because we do not have enough armed forces? Now, take a look. A lot of this started off because the post-millennial put out this video of President Joe Biden issuing the draft by executive order. I'm going to share with you the video footage so you can see it for yourself here in just a second. Now, just to clarify, this was AI. The video of Joe Biden calling for a military draft was created with AI. They're saying that this was false. Well, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, I'm going to be covering the details of what is coming out. I'm going to share with you the video footage and also give you information regarding if a draft happened, what it would look like, and also in addition to that, the letter that came out saying we actually do need a draft. We do not have enough in our military. So let's go ahead and dive right in. I'm going to share with you the latest updates. And I know that this is not what anybody wants to hear, that we could potentially be going to war and drafting out our young men. However, I believe that knowledge is power. And if you appreciate me giving you the latest knowledge, the latest updates, do me a quick favor, smash the like button. Helps with the YouTube algorithm. Hit subscribe to stay up to date. Turn on that notification bell and share this out if you think it could help out other people get the latest information as well. As I said, these articles just came out today. I will cite them in the description so you can click on them and read them for yourself. But with that being said, let's dive right in and take a look at these articles about the U.S. draft and what we could potentially be looking at with World War III.
Putin's illegal occupation of Kyiv and the impending Chinese blockade of Taiwan has created a two-front national security crisis that requires more troops than the volunteer military can supply. I have received guidance from General Milley, chairman of the Joint Chiefs, that the
So guys, remember, this didn't happen. This is not real. They're saying this is what it could look like. Okay? What are you guys saying at the moment? Lightfoot. Hey, Lighty. I've been asking this question to my friends once a year, once, twice a year for the last 5 or 6 years. Toy point also include the question, do they think they would cope with the draft given? Very interesting. Very interesting. Jake, spelt wrong. That's the most clear sentence I've heard Biden ever say. Yep, that's how they knew it was fake. Gold.
recommended way forward will be to invoke the Selective Service Act, as is my authority as president. The first to be called.
For those that don't know, in America, it is compulsory to sign up for the draft if you're a male, and you can go to jail if you don't do it, or fined, or be exempt from education, higher education, etc. However, females that are allowed to vote still don't have any obligation to do anything for their country. That's whack. If you're allowed to vote, you have to fight. Okay? If you don't have to fight, you're not allowed to vote. That's what I reckon.
In a sequence determined by national lottery will be men and women whose 20th birthday falls during calendar year 2023.
It's a trend that's outlasted the COVID.
All right. Guys, we get the hint. We get the hint. All right. It's almost time to roll. Thank you for being here tonight. Would you sign up? What would be the conditions? Do you think Australia needs to step up now with national service before conscription becomes a now you don't have a choice? Do you think that the government can instill it? If you think no, you're wrong. They can. And they've had nearly 5 opportunities where they almost had to do it, but didn't have to do it because the right men stood up. So, Guys, if you don't think it can happen, it can. Absolutely. And you don't wait till the wolf is at the door before you wait for drastic action. You do it beforehand. You prepare for conflict. You prepare for bushfire seasons. You prepare for cyclones. Why wouldn't you prepare for a domestic terror when the entire world right now is trying to take sides while fights are happening that we didn't think possible? And now we're watching the craziness that's happening from the people within our own country. We need to also have some sort of, I believe, some sort of catapult and some sort of parole system when you're an immigrant, that your kids can get sent back to where you come from within 15 or 20 years if they still side and bring the outside violence of where they came from to the country that now supports them. There's a whole bunch of different things you could talk about, but what do you do to a dickhead that's born here? Aussie, through and through, that hates his own country. Maybe you put him in the same Nerf catapult and send him over to fuckwit Island. But guys, for someone that's been in a uniform, quarter of a century nearly, I'd be happy to serve again under the right circumstances, but I don't like our politicians. I don't like the people that control us, and I don't even like the Chief of the Defence Force. Yep, I wouldn't want to fight for him, and he used to be my boss. Okay, if you're going to be a volunteer, then you deserve the best leadership and the most honest leadership, because one of the most dangerous things is the hand of the whistle, which is an incompetent commander who's commanding competent troops and using them poorly. Russian troops, we're seeing that happen now. Okay, camo, serious change is needed. Otherwise, the Australian population is going to become more and more Americanised with all the problems that come along with that. We need school, political, and medical media change. Yes, we do. We do. But we also need politicians that say something crazy like, I love my country. With that team, what I'd like to say is Nutsu Cow, look after yourself, look after your family, be patriotic to yourself, then to your family. Determine who are your real friends. Don't call someone brother unless you'd pick up the slack and take up all of their problems as well. If your friends aren't good for you, get rid of them and replace them. If your job's not good for you, replace it. Now is the time for learning the land of opportunity, and I'm here to help you get there. Let the mistakes that I've made and the mistakes that I've seen in the past guide you in the future to give you some level of chicane that you can travel with to have the perfect life in this time of opportunity. And believe me, it's an absolute pleasure to have worn a uniform to represent those, that are good standing people that love their family, love their dog, love their life. There's things that are bigger than us, and you've got to know what time it is. Don't get it twisted, and what you would die for. Because if you wouldn't die for anything, then you're just fucking feeding from the tit, aren't you? Even when it tastes good. See you later, team. I've got to go. The arches of my feet feel like I'm standing on the edge of a barbecue. Woo! See you later, and thank you very much, guys and gals. Still call Australia home. We're girt by sea, and although this country annoys me sometimes, it's the best country in the world. Never forget it. Don't get twisted. Buy yourself a Quest 3. And guys, we're getting ready for Remembrance Day. Over 103,000 men, died so that you could have the ability to say, fuck this country. And that's not good. See you later. Respect the past. Mr. P, over here. And to Steve-O. If you're still watching Stevie Bryce, I'm going to paint your balls the next day. See you later, guys. Love you. Respect you. It's time to roll. That's what the sausage said. Bye.